Is the Israeli Prime Minister's greed to hold on to power more important than the lives of Israeli citizens? Does Benjamin Netanyahu want to hold on to power at any cost, even if it means abandoning hostages? We ask those questions because the latest reports coming out of Israeli media paint a troubling picture, and that is putting it mildly. Reports say in a meeting with the families of those held hostage by Hamas, Netanyahu stated that there is unlikely to be a hostage deal. He reportedly insisted that any deal with Hamas must safeguard Israel's strategic interests, like retaining control over the Philadelphia corridor and the Netzarim corridor, claiming that maintaining a military presence in these corridors is essential to prevent the smuggling of weapons into Gaza. The Philadelphia corridor is a narrow strip along Gaza's border with Egypt, and the Netzarim corridor cuts off northern Gaza from the south. Citing American officials, reports have suggested that Israel has achieved whatever it could militarily in Gaza, and the ongoing war is simply leading to civilian casualties. And it cannot achieve Israel's objective of eliminating Hamas completely. Netanyahu's statement to the families of the hostages also puts U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's statement in focus. On Monday, remember, Blinken said that Israel had accepted the Gaza ceasefire deal, and the onus was now on Hamas to do the same. Blinken's latest statement further contradicts Netanyahu's stance.
The United States does not accept any long-term occupation of Gaza by Israel. More specifically, the agreement is very clear on the schedule and the locations of IDF withdrawals from Gaza, and Israel has agreed to that.
So what are we to make of that statement? What's really going on? Remember, the U.S. and Israel have had a rather complicated relationship recently, with the U.S. constantly urging Netanyahu to end the Gaza war. As per reports, Hamas sees the Israeli control over these two corridors as a major obstacle to the ceasefire deal, a chokehold on Gaza's sovereignty, a precursor to a renewed occupation and a potential return of Jewish settlements. And so Netanyahu's resolve to hold on to these territories raises crucial questions. Does this strategy truly serve the nation, or is it merely a guise to continue the war and prevent fresh elections from happening, perhaps? One that could put his position as Prime Minister in doubt. The families of the hostages have on multiple occasions made their position clear. They want their loved ones home, and they want that now. Forums representing the families of the hostages have reportedly stated that they fear Netanyahu's demands could doom any chance of a deal, arguing that a ceasefire deal with Hamas, not territorial bargaining, is the only path to securing the release of the hostages. Experts also argue that Netanyahu's actions could torpedo a potential deal. As per reports, the hostages and the missing families forum accused Netanyahu of abandoning the hostages, leaving them to face death in captivity. Remember, reportedly, Netanyahu had once said that the hostages are suffering, but they are not dying. But is the suffering of Israeli citizens being brushed aside as collateral damage to hold on to power? Is their suffering not being taken seriously because Netanyahu's greed to cling on to power is more important? As per reports, opposition leader Yair Lapid has also weighed in, calling for an immediate deal to bring the hostages home before they all die. Lapid's comments coming on the heels of the Israeli army statement stating that they had recovered the bodies of 6 hostages from Khan Yunis in Gaza. The ceasefire resolution, remember, is not just important for the hostages, but also for potentially preventing an all-out regional catastrophic war. Iran is waiting on the outcome of the Gaza ceasefire deal. If it fails, reports suggest that Iran, along with Hezbollah, plan to strike Israel, which threatens the possibility of an all-out war in West Asia. Such a move will be a retaliation for the assassinations of Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr in Beirut and the Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. With each passing hour, the window for negotiation narrows and the likelihood of further bloodshed increases. How many more lives will be sacrificed for Netanyahu's greed to hold on to power? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.